So today, anybody came with a question, we can talk, or any topic. Anybody didn't participate for Dhun? Everybody talked about, right? તમે બી ધૂન વિશેનું તમે બી વાત કરી હતી ને last? Yeah. So any question anybody has come today? No question?
Well, I have a question.
You have a question, okay. You have mic.
I have the mic too. Well, the question is related to, I think Vachanamrita on Monday. We were discussing in the morning, and then Pancharano.
Hello?
Yeah, but we ended that one. We are doing the second one. Pancharano 5. Yeah. 4 ખતમ થઈ ગયું, 5 કર્યું. I think it's. Oh, you have a question? Somebody else has a question too?
जी. Yeah, जी.
Okay, so the points were like we were talking, you had mentioned in there that the calm, the chapters that we are having, but in one of these Vachanamrita, I can't remember exactly what the reference was, but એમાં મહારાજે ના છેલ્લાનું કે મહારાજે કીધું છે કે જે કામ ને બધા જે હોય જેની પાસે because of that they are doing wrongdoing, even that is not bad, but people who have Hatman Isha is even more dangerous than calm. Now, what is in Hatman and Isha? Isha, I can understand, is a kind of jealousy, but what is a hurt? Hurt in like in a reference, in detail, like, I mean, but like a jeet is a thing, but hurt, how do we recognize hurt? Yeah, but if it's so dangerous, we go to, I had a question, what is the detail on it? And then Hatman Isha. Isha, like, I know the word is jealousy, everybody knows what jealousy is, but what actually is Isha? And hurt and man, we know is becoming like, we want to be recognized or something. But just wanted a little more definite, because you mentioned that those three are even dangerous than the other things, so, and that can stop us. So maybe just to.
Very good. पिंटू भाई को थोड़ा लाभ आपो.
Yes, Dingarangal and Bapu can explain exactly how Hat, Man and Irsha, cause, what it can cause, or what can cause, But there is always an example that Yogi Ji Maharaj used to give about these three particular doshas. So for Hurt, Yogi Ji Maharaj used to give the example of Matshyavana Faiba. I don't know if you have heard of that example. Matshyavana Faiba was a very elevated devotee. She was so elevated that, if Maharaj was to come to Matsyav, she would know ahead of time and she would have made all the preparations. Maharaj had come to Matsya for about, for an exact number, maybe 21 times or something like that, to that one village. Maharaj had a Matsya is the village from where Murji Brahmachari was. And Maharaj, he has said in Vachanamrita Shikshapatri also, he really liked the seva that Murji Brahmachari was giving. So he really liked the gaon, the village of Matsya. His plan was to build a temple as big as Vartal or maybe Ahmedabad in Matsya, That was how Matsya was important. And so once Maharaj had come to Matsya, and he, as usual, the Faiba had made all the food and everything was served, and Maharaj really appreciated the food. And at that time, his Matsya's, Faiba's son had got recently married, and his wife was there. And she was there also in the servicing of Maharaj. So Maharaj really appreciated the food and appreciated that his wife made the food, And everything went okay, but afterwards, the Faiba was really upset that, I had made all the food and you took all the credit and something like that, You didn't even say my name that, it was, you had made all the food. And so she was so upset with her that she asked her to leave and go back to her parents' home. So she kind of, asked her to leave. Sometime later again, Maharaj ran into this daughter-in-law, and Maharaj asked her, what happened? How are you? How come you are here? And she said that, my mother-in-law has actually kicked me out because of this incident that happened last time, So Maharaj says, okay, I'll talk to her and try to convince her, and, you come with me. The daughter-in-law says, no, Maharaj, you don't know her. She is really upset, and she will not even, on looking at me also, she will not even react properly. So why don't you go first without me and then talk to her, And Maharaj goes there, and then, as usual, she had prepared all the food. Maharaj and all the santos sat down to eat the food. And Maharaj, before starting the food, he asks Faiba that, would you listen to me or would you mari ek baat manso? The Faiba goes, Maharaj, tamari to 100 baat mani hai, So Maharaj says ke tamara vahu, Maharaj tu atlu જ કે છે, your daughter-in-law, he only says that much, and she right away jumps and cuts off and says, Maharaj, you don't know about these things. You don't fall in this, our family matters, તમે સત્સંગની વાત કરો, મોક્ષની વાત કરો, પણ આમાં તમને ખબર ના પડે. So you don't say anything. And Maharaj then tries to explain to her that, કે મોક્ષની જ વાત કરું છું, આપણે આવી હટ, આપણે આટી રાખવી નહીં, તે કે ના મહારાજ, તમને ખબર ના પડે, you don't say this. So Maharaj tries to explain to her, but she is not yielding. And Maharaj says, જો તમે માનશો નહીં તો અમે નીકળી જઈશું, જમીશું નહીં. So here she, this is, Yogi Ji Maharaj used to say, this is how we misuse our knowledge. So, because તમે ભગવાન છો, તમે જે ચાહો એ કરો. You are God, you can do whatever you want, ખાઓ, ચાહો તો જમો, ચાહો તો બગાડો, તમારે, it's up to you, you are God. ભગવાન પરાનો ભાવ was used in a wrong way, So Maharaj goes, okay, he leaves, and all the santos leave with him. And then he never returns to that village, And after that, he never sees her, and she never comes to see God, And so that's because of her stubbornness, that her relationship with God was severed, Her relationship with God was broken up because she didn't yield or listen to God, So that's the example that Yogi Ji Maharaj used to very often give about hut. And then man, there was an example that Yogi Ji Maharaj used to give was about Alaya Kachar. And, Alaya Kachar was a devotee who, because of him, 2,000 people had become satsangi, And he had a lot of, in that sense, he had a lot of done seva of satsang, Once, what had happened was Maharaj, did this leela where he was saying that he was asking Muktanand Swami that who is the best devotee in satsang, And Muktanand Swami named first Sadhak Sabha, and so Alaya Kachar was thinking that Muktanand Swami would name his name, So he said first Sadhak Sabha, so it little bit disturbed him. So maru naam દીધું નહીં, but it's okay. દાદા ખાચર ત્યાં ભગવાન રહે છે, so it's reasonable, Pachi then second name Muktanand Swami gave was maybe Sura Khachar. So he got a little bit excited now, that why is he not saying my name, And he was a kati, so he used to hold a sword with him, So his hand went on the sword. And he was about to now name the third person, and Muktanand Swami was going to name someone else, but Maharaj saw that this person is getting really excited, And he was getting to that excited that if he Muktanand Swami named someone else, he would have cut off his head. And that's what he was ready for, But Maharaj intervened at that point. He said, Muktanand Swami, you don't know anything about how to measure devotees. This Alaya Kachar is a great devotee. And then he was really relaxed. Alaya Kachar. Maru naam aivu, And Maharaj used to say, Alayo to Alayo. That's what Maharaj used to say. Maharaj said. And he really kind of calmed down the situation. But Maharaj had saw this, that this is something which was, hindering him, or it's a flaw that he has to overcome. So once what had happened was Maharaj had gone for swimming with all the devotees, and Alaya Khachar was also there, What he did was, first of all, Maharaj was swimming, and Maharaj pulled him in to the water, And they were swimming, and then what he did was, while he was swimming, Maharaj pulled off his undergarments. And Maharaj came out, and whatever his dry clothes were there, Maharaj took them away, and told Alaya Kachar that, come out that way, And Alaya Kachar was so hurt that, that Maharaj did this and insulted me. And from there, then he just swam away, and he went, he never came back, And whatever number of people that he had actually helped to come satsang, Yogi Maharaj says, okay, double people, he make them retract from satsang by talking negative of Bhagwan, that, Bhagwan avu ko karai, Bhagwan is this and that, So Bapa used to say that example, that his ego was hurt because of he couldn't overcome his ego. That's how he fell against God, And his relationship with God was broken. So these are the examples that, I think you were asking about heart and man. There's Irshana, Papa used to give an example was of Jiva Khachar. I think you already know about that. So I think those are the examples. Haji? Jiva Khachar, yeah.
Go.
Haji?
Jiva Khachar ne bhi baat karo.
So Maharaj, when came to Gadada, he actually had first gone to Jiva Khachar's place. And then he had come to Alaya Khachar. Jiva Khachar and Alaya Khachar were brothers, I think, right?
Dada Khachar.
Jiva Khachar Dada. Haji?
Jiva Khachar kaka aata hai na.
Dada Khachar kaka tha, right? Yeah. So Alaya Khachar and Jiva Khachar were. Alaya Khachar was Dada Khachar's dad. And so Jiva Khachar was.
No, Abel Khachar was.
Sorry, Abel Khachar. Sorry, I'm sorry, not Alaya Khachar. Abel Khachar, yeah. Abel Khachar was Dada Khachar's dad, and Jiva Khachar was his brother. So Maharaj had first come to Jiva Khachar's place, and then he had come to Gadada. And Jiva Khachar had done a lot of service of Bhagwan, and there was examples that God was sick, and he had to go to washroom, and it was raining outside and it was cold. So this is something which is very unusual, and what he did, that in their house they used to have this place, chulo hai na, where they actually used to put the coal and the fire where they would cook. He cleaned up that place and asked God to go to washroom over there. Normally back in the day, washrooms would be all the way out of the house. It was considered, not pious or not, it was sanity-wise, everything was not there. So it was very unusual to actually do anything in the house. And kitchen is normally the most cleanest place in the house. That's where food is made. So he did such arrangement for God to go to washroom in the kitchen, which was supposed to be the most cleanest place, as opposed to a bathroom, So that was a very unusual thing he did, Then once, then at the same time that Bhagwan was feeling very cold, so he had a bed, or the ખાટલો હોય લાકડાનો, એ લાકડાનો ખાટલાને કાપી નાખ્યો અને એનું તાપણી કરી. He made a fire out of it to give warmth to God, And he used to say that, Bappa used to say that, when God used to come, Jivakachar and his wife would take away all the stones on the road so that it wouldn't hurt God, So that much bhav and that much bhakti towards God, And what had happened was that God then had, from Jivakachar's place, had to gone to stay with Dadakachar, and he should stay most of the time over there. And that somehow Jivakachar was not coping up with. He wished that God stayed at his place as opposed to Dadakachar's place, And but God continued to stay at Dadakachar's place, And situation came to such a level at, I'm maybe forgetting something in between, maybe Dingar uncle can add, but situation came to such an level that he, because of his jealousy, grew so much that he was ready to kill Bhagwan Swaminarayan, And then the pasang as it goes is that he actually hires someone to kill him. And it was night time, God wanted to go to bathroom. And normally God would go on his own. But that night, he asked Bhaguji, who used to attend God, to come with him. Bhaguji is the one who used to normally have a sword and used to attend God and was kind of his bodyguard, Why don't you come with him? So Bhaguji also felt that, Maharaj never says this, but he's saying something, so I should go with him. He was kind of ready, And when he was going to the bathroom, there was this person was sitting there with a sword, ready to kill Maharaj, But Bhaguji was there with a lantern, so they saw him and he caught him, And Bhaguji was ready to kill that person, And but Maharaj said, don't do anything to this guy. It's not his fault. It's Jivakachar's fault, or he's the one who has sent him. And he asked him to say the story, and he kind of told him, yes, Jivakachar has promised me a couple of villages, and that's how I did this, But the point was that Baba is to make that the person who was so devoted to God, because of his jealousy with another devotee, he was ready to kill the human form of God, That's how jealousy played a role for Jivakachar. So these are the three examples that Yogi Ji Maharaj used to say about Hatman and Irsha. Sajan Sai Maharaj.
So these three forces, the stubbornness, the ego, the jealousy, that Maharaj said, and all Gunadit saints are saying, are associated with the level of the soul. છેક આ જીવના રોગ છે, અને આ જીવના રોગ છે એ બીજા જે ત્રણ છે, કામ, ક્રોધ, લોભ, એના કરતાં પણ વધારે ખરાબ છે. શાસ્ત્રોની અંદર કામ, ક્રોધ, લોભ એને શત્રુ બતાવે છે. ગીતાની અંદર બી કહ્યું છે ભગવાને. પણ સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાન કહે છે કે આપણા સત્સંગની અંદર કામી હોય એ પણ એના દોષને લઈને ગરીબ સ્વભાવ રાખે. પોતાના દોષનું એને દર્શન થાય, પોતાના દોષનું એને ચીડ ચડે એટલે સત્સંગ ના છોડે. એનાથી પેલો દોષ ના છૂટતો હોય તો બી સત્સંગ ના છોડે, અથવા તો એ દોષ સાથે લડાઈ લે. પણ જેની સાથે હઠ માનને ઈર્ષા હોય એ દોષો એને સત્સંગમાંથી દૂર કરી નાખે, એને ભગવાનથી, સંતોથી, સત્સંગથી દૂર કરી નાખે. Those three deep inside negativities, stubbornness, ego, jealousy, adekhai, those, they are so bad that a person will leave the satsang. Person will not be interested in coming satsang. So, we saw this example of Matsyauna Phaiba, that from that onward, she discontinued inviting Maharaj or going there and saying sorry to Maharaj, It is so deep, so stubborn, that it would keep justifying that I am right and Swaminarayan Bhagavan or whoever is wrong, And that way, it never changes the attitude. And she did not even care to, introspect. So that is the bigger problem. The second one is the ego. And Alaya Khachar, same way, that his ego got hurt, Now, it doesn't mean that all those who would have problem with ego would be that bad. No. It goes with the ego and a personality of a person and his background, Purvana Sanskar, Nidesh card, all that affects also, Param Chaitananand Swami, who had also a problem with the ego. He was not made the Mahant of Vadtal, and he was expecting that he would be named as Mahant of Vadtal. And Swaminarayan Bhagavan made Aksharanand Swami, who was very newcomer and coming from the farmers, family, and selected him as Mahant. So his ego got really hurt, And he just left right in from the middle of this ceremony in Vadtal, and started going down south, With him, his devotees, his disciples, he had like 200 disciples that when he came. So some of his leader disciples, those who were his close to him, his chamchas or whatever, chamchis, they also joined with him. But he was so much furious that he was not thinking anything. He was just walking and walking and walking, And it was summertime. And then he walked maybe 10, 15 miles, and then at that time, either they look for the river or they look for the well for water, So there was one well that he just stopped there, and then he took some water and then he drank, and then he saw that his associates are with him also. So then he told them, that why are you following me? Why are you coming with me? So they say that you are going, so we don't know where you are going, so we are joining you, we are following you. So even though he was hurt with his ego, but he knew God is God, And he told his disciples that I am hurt by my ego, but liberation is with Swaminarayan Bhagavan. So you go back. And he told all of them to go back. And then he kept walking and he went to, Surat and Bharuch area, and then he went to, that lady, Dharampur, and we know the story, that he stayed there, Kushal Kumar Bai, But when Muktanand Swami found out, that he is stuck in Dharampur, he requested Swaminarayan Bhagavan that can we do something, so that he can come back. Now, ego is powerful, He would not have come back by himself, But Swaminarayan Bhagavan says that elephant is drowning and we need an elephant to pull the elephant out. So he says, Muktanand Swami, that you go there and you talk to him and explain to him. He is considering you as Guru and he will listen to you. And Muktanand Swami goes there, and then Muktanand Swami talks to him and explains to him, and then Kushal Kumarbai was very, eager to see Swaminarayan Bhagavan, and she asks, Muktanand Swami that can you have Swaminarayan Bhagavan come here? And Muktanand Swami says, I cannot guarantee, but I will go and request. And then Muktanand Swami goes back to Gadda and makes all this explanation and says, that she is very devoted woman, and if you go there, then she would be a devotee and Param Chaitanyanand Swami will also return back. So then Swaminarayan Bhagavan goes there and stays there, and she was very devoted, And coming back, Swaminarayan Bhagavan took Param Chaitanyanand Swami back, and he came back. So here the ego did not disturb to the point that Param Chaitanyanand Swami never came back, He came back. So it is bad, but it depends, how elevated a person is and how, open-minded a person is, that would make a change, But comparing with the other three forces, Kam, Krodh and Lobh, these are very powerful forces, Hurt, Manya, Irsha. A lustful person will come back within a day or two, A egoistic person would take weeks and months and years, So that's how, the gap and difference is, And again, it can be either way also, other way also. A person with lustful behavior will go away also, It's not that it will not happen, But eventually, he would introspect, He would just pray and try to come back, In the time of Swaminarayan Bhagavan, there were some devotees, that they took away, a women from satsang, or woman from satsang, ran away and they got married, So it's not first time, It has happened from Swaminarayan Bhagavan's time and even before that, right? So, it was Hamid Khan, or there was some name, that he just ran away and stayed in jungles, woods, and enjoyed with the woman. But after a few months, or a year or so, then he comes back, and begging sorry and all that, Because, now divas ni narangi, it just doesn't stay and last long, The real inside problem starts, and then it is a return back, situation. So, these are all permutations, combination, varieties, But what Swaminarayan Bhagavan is saying, that these forces, Hurt, Man and Irsha, are very dangerous and one should not get victim of that. And before that, one should introspect, or what we are doing, is a quality thing, a dhoon or prayer, and that really protects and saves us, Because when we are doing dhoon, we are tuning with Kakaji or Swamiji or Guruji, and we are praying at the same time, And when we do that, we can look at our own fault, We can look at our own shortcoming, and try to overcome that. The whole satsang is for our own self, How can I get rid of my negative forces, How can I get rid of my impurities? And if we do that, then we would be happy, If we try to make somebody else, better than us, yeah, it may happen, But what about us? We would be still there, right? What have we done? Nothing. So, the basis of satsang is to get rid of our stubbornness, And we all have that, It's not that we are pure, We all have some level of stubbornness. And we have to look at it, we have to analyze it, we have to introspect. And then we have to work at it. If we cannot solve it, then, go to the next level. Go to your, jod, go to your subordinate, or your friend, or your, well-wisher, and talk to that person and see if that can be a help, Even if that does not work, if that does not help, then come to the next level, Come to, somebody who you have a lot of respect and faith. But at the same time, Swaminarayan Bhagavan and Gunatitanand Swami is saying that don't go to somebody who would really misguide you, કે ભાઈ હું બી તારા જેવો છું, આવ આપણે બે બરોબર રમતો રમીએ, No, that's not the intent. The intent is to help somebody. Intent is to elevate somebody. So that can also, get purified, And Kakaji has said, that ગમે તેવી તમારી બુરી આદત હોય, whatever bad habit you have, But if you really take a case of that habit and really work on that, and Kakaji has given all those, examples and experiments and other things to work on that. And if we do that, remembering Kakaji, remembering his power, then it will go away. It has to go away. Our goal is to become Brahmarup. So one day we have to quit all that. One day we have to get rid of that. So why not start today then? Why not start now, So those are the things that are very hard and difficult. But did you get the idea of stubborn and ego and jealousy and all that? Otherwise we can give you more examples. The other thing is, that there are two different levels, One level is a company of a Gunatit saint. And the other level is that association of God, And in the company of God, association of God, God will want to do whatever is a right operation for you, whatever is the right treatment for you. And in all these three cases, Phoiba, Alaya Khachar, Jiva Khachar, Swaminarayan Bhagavan used the right approach, right treatment, to take care of their impurities. But they were very challenging, they were unusual, they were very difficult, they were very hard, Machiyavana Phoiba, she missed the boat, Alaya Khachar, he just missed his kalyan, Jiva Khachar, he, Swaminarayan Bhagavan, even with that, liberated him, He, at the time of his death, Swaminarayan Bhagavan still went there, and liberated him. But still, the method that Swaminarayan Bhagavan was using was out of the ordinary, It may shake up your, self, But a Gunatit saint will not do that normally, A Gunatit saint will use a softer approach, a milder approach, a caring and loving approach. You read the whole Patra Sanjeevani, And everywhere Kakaji has dealt with love, care, and just infinite, grace. This is what he has used, And with that, we have seen lot of changes in the satsang, There were a lot of challenges in time of Kakaji, right? There were a lot of negativity and lot of problem makers and troublemakers also in time of Kakaji also, right? But Kakaji kept giving love and care and love and care, And today we see, a big change, big difference, So, in the company of a Gunatit saint, it is that a devotee will be taken care with more tender care, But the problem and drawback there also is, that the process will be longer, If that person is stubborn, if this person is not flexing, then it will take longer, And that process, Mota Purush is willing to wait. He would say, "Aa janme nahi to avta janme." If not in this birth, we would give you another chance in next births, series of births, And that process is there, always there, So, we are very fortunate that we are in this kind of environment, in this kind of satsang, that most of the Gunatit Swarups, they are very humble and caring, And we have to, understand that, and we have to, introspect, and we have to pray, and we have to, really progress ourselves, There are very few examples that from our satsang, from our, Gunatit Samaj and Bap Samaj and others, that very few have left out of stubbornness or left out of ego or jealousy. So, it is a little refined and better, association and group. But it happens also in there also, It happens for a better reason, Like for example, we got separated from Bapa's group, right? And those who were, accusing us, were accusing for, trifling things and small things, Jealousy is part of that also, There was issue of jealousy also. But when we got separated, when we kept the quality, when we kept the essence of our satsang and not looking and talking negative of them, not criticizing them, but focusing on Yogi Bapa, focusing on Kakaji and Papaji and Swamiji and Sahib and all, our journey did not get disturbed. Our journey did not take that stubbornness route, Because when there is a stubbornness, it doesn't take only one side, Both sides get stubborn, Swaminarayan Bhagavan got stubborn also with Matsya Phoiba, right? He could have flexed also, right? That okay, આવતા જન્મે પણ તમારા ઘરે માન ના માન મેં તેરા મહેમાન ખાઈ લઈશું. No. Bhagavan kept his style also, that okay. And it was for reason, It was for purpose, to give an example, to give, And very rarely Swaminarayan Bhagavan has done this, Very rarely, And the reason sometimes I think on that, reason is not that Matsya Phaiba and her seva created that atmosphere. But the reason that her daughter-in-law was so garib swabhav, was so humble nature, that when she had served Swaminarayan Bhagavan knew that when even she was excommunicated, she did not complain to Swaminarayan Bhagavan, Otherwise people will go and complain, Swaminarayan Bhagavan, Tame Bhagavan છો કંઈક કરો, you do something. No, she never did that, But Swaminarayan Bhagavan found out, And because of that, because of hurting a humble devotee, Bhagavan became very stubborn, Bhagavan became very hard, And Bhagavan wanted to set an example, કે નાનામાં નાનો ભક્ત હોય એને માટે બી અમે એટલા જ એની પ્રોટેક્શન માટે એને મદદ કરવા માટે તૈયાર છીએ અને મોટામાં મોટા મચ્છિયાઓના ફૈબા હોય તો બી નો ક્લાસ, there will be no comparison, It's the value, It's the association, and the humbleness which makes the difference, And in our satsang, Yogi Bapa, who was away in, from Kakaji and Papaji and Swamiji, but Bapa was never away, He was always with us, કારણ કે કાકાજીએ તમે 1966 થી કાકાજીના જે પત્રો તમે જોશો, હરિપ્રસાદ સ્વામીજીને લખ્યા હોય, સાહેબને લખ્યા હોય, પપ્પાજીને લખ્યા હોય, એમાં એક જ ટોન આવે છે બસ એનો, કે આ બાપાનો રાસ છે, બાપાએ આપણને હેતુ માટે દૂર કર્યા છે, એમને મનન દ્વારા બ્રહ્મનો સંગ કરવા માટે આપણને આવી તક આપી છે અને 5 જ વર્ષ આપ્યા બાપાએ, 66 to 71, રાઈટ? એ 5 વર્ષની અંદર તમે પાકું કરી લો, તમે સિદ્ધ થઈ જાઓ. તો પાછળથી તમને બાપા તમારી સાથે કાયમ રહેશે. અને we can see that, our satsang is very quality satsang, it's very unique satsang, and we are all not looking towards the negativities but towards our own spiritual growth, કે મારું કેમ કરીને કલ્યાણ થાય, how can I elevate and liberate to myself. So these are the things which makes a difference between the atmosphere also, દેશકાળની જે અસર થાય એ આમાં ફાવી જવાય. આપણે આવા સત્સંગમાં છીએ તો આપણું અકલ્યાણ નહીં થાય, આપણે બચી જઈશું, આપણી રક્ષા થઈ જશે. કદાચ આપણી ભૂલ થઈ હશે તો બી આપણે એને પ્રાર્થના કરીને, પ્રાયશ્ચિત રૂપ, પશ્ચાતાપ રૂપ, કોઈ બી રીતે કરીને પેલા જેની બી ભૂલ થઈ હોય ને સમજાવીને, સુખીઓ કરીને પણ આપણે આપણું ચેપ્ટર વાળી લઈશું. વી વિલ જસ્ટ મેક ઇટ સો દેટ ઇટ becomes not a total negative, then that is the quality of our satsang, So those are the things, that makes some difference also. So anything you need more clarification, or is that enough? Okay. Anybody else wants to say anything on this? કોઈને કંઈ કહેવું છે આમાં? તો અમારા દાસભાઈનો બીજો એક સવાલ હતો. અમારા દાસભાઈએ ફોન કર્યો કે લાસ્ટ સેટરડે ત્યાં સ્વામીજીના અનકોટ વખતે 4 પોઈન્ટની વાત કરતો હતો હું, એની ઉપર કંઈક થોડીક વાત કરો એવું કહેશે. સ્વામીજીની ધૂનની અંદર આપણે એ સાંભળીએ છીએ. અને સ્વામીજીએ ખૂબ એમાં આશીર્વાદ રૂપે આપણને ધૂનની અંદર ખૂબ અગત્યની વાત કરી દીધેલી છે. 4 પોઈન્ટ બતાવ્યા છે. કોઈ પહેલું પોઈન્ટ યાદ છે? એક રુચિ. Well, let's focus on first ek ruchi, then we'll go to the next. અને we talked a little bit, એક રુચિ એટલે કે આપણા જે કોઈ પ્રકૃતિ, આપણી કોઈ સ્ટાઇલ, આપણો કોઈ સ્વભાવ છે, આપણને જે કંઈ ગમે છે એ એક આપણી રુચિ છે. અને આપણા સાથીદાર છે એને કંઈક બીજું ગમે છે. અવર colleague, our Jod, our buddy who has a little different style, different nature, different pattern. So our motto is, our goal is to have the one harmony. And when I think of this, I have seen when I was young, and our uncle and my father, they were using the ploughing, in the farm, ખેતરમાં પેલા ખેતી કરવાની હોય ને. So there were 2 bulls, that they would use for ploughing. There was one bull very powerful, very strong, અને થોડો કાળો, માથાનો ભાગને કાળો હતો, અને તમે એની પાસે બી ના, you cannot go close to that. He would just swing you, with the horn, તમે ફેંકી દે. એવો બહુ જ એગ્રેસિવ ને, થોડો શોર્ટ ટેમ્પરના નેચરનો, બટ વેરી સ્ટ્રોંગ, And with that bull there was another one which was weak, and not as strong, So when they do the ploughing, then this strong bull will pull the plough and everything. And the other one would be also following that, but would not have to do that much of the great effort, because the other one is doing it, So પેલાની જે એનર્જી છે, the strong bull's energy is helping the other one who is a weak force, So when you are together in a company of two, that when you see somebody with a higher quality, a better quality, then fly with that, use that, and benefit from there, If we do that, then our progress will be faster, Even I remember, that all this Apollo mission, and all those rockets, that they send out all the way to the outside of the solar system now. There is one, what is the name? Number 2, I guess. Spaceship number 2 or something, It's now practically out of the solar system, First object from this solar system has gone out of the solar system, It has taken about 30 some years now, more than 30 years, traveling and traveling, billions and billions of miles, But what happens is when they were leaving the solar system, they were coming in the way with the planets, like, the Jupiter and Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, So the way they had arranged, that this spaceship was going, let's say, at 35,000 miles per hour, But this planet is going ahead of them at a faster speed, then they would track this rocket, and now rocket is speeding up, picking up the speed, because of the gravity of that planet. And then that planet goes away, and that rocket speed has gone up even from 35 to 50,000 miles per hour now. So all this length, the rocket is going to gain this strength by the effect of the planet, So we are here also, Use everybody's positive side, use everybody's, good qualities, and move on and pick up the momentum and go on, Rather than having jealousy, that, hey, how come this guy is, so and so good, Let's drag his foot, No, that is not going to help, That's not going to happen also in satsang, Eventually, you will be thrown out, But we hope that you don't, So, we want to use this quality, we want to use this positivity, as part of our journey, So, ek ruchi means whoever is better than me, I want to join, I want to tune with that ruchi, and I want to pick up the momentum, Swamiji is always saying that, Hariprasad Swamiji has, I have seen, seen a lot of good qualities in Sahib Dada, lot of good quality in Akshar Vihari Swami, lot of good quality in Guruji, any other devotee, Hariprasad Swamiji has always, used that as a, positivity, and give a lot of respect, એમનો ગોલ એક જ કે આપણું પુણ્ય કોઈને આપવું નથી અને બીજાનું પુણ્ય આપણે એક્યુમ્યુલેટ કરવું છે. ઇટ્સ નોટ એ નેગેટિવ એટીટ્યુડ, તમે જો ખરેખર એવા ભાવનાવાળા હો તમારું પુણ્ય ઓછું નથી થવાનું એવું નહીં માનતા કે ભાઈ આપણું લૂંટાઈ જશે તમારું પુણ્ય વધતું જશે ઉડતું ખેતરમાં નાખો તો એકના 1000 દાણા થાય If you put one seed in the farm, you will get 1,000 seeds, So don't worry about that. But this is the feeling that we want to have, કે કેમ કરીને ભાઈ અમારો પરીક્ષિત છે એનું પુણ્ય કેમ કરીને હું ભેગું કરું એને કેમ કરીને હું રાજી રાજી કરી લઉં How can I make him happy? How can I, be humble with him? How can I, I tune with him, And then he would be tuning with me also, right? And then we will be moving at a higher speed, a couple of 3-4 days ago, who was that? Somebody was asking, કે અમારા દાસ કાકા જ કંઈક કહેતા હતા કે દાસ કાકાએ કહ્યું હતું કે એને અહીં રાખવાનું. કોણ? દાસ કાકાએ કહ્યું, માપુજામ કહ્યું હતું ને. અમારા તમારે ત્યાં માપુજા હતી ને ત્યારે જ વાત કરતા હતા કે છે કે પરીક્ષિતને અહીં રાખાય એવું કરો ને એનો. તો મેં કહું ભાઈ હું કંઈ ના પાડું છું, હું તો એના ટેકો જ કરું છું, પણ એને કંઈક ગમી ગયું હોય ત્યાં સરસ ભાઈઓનો તો આપણે શું કરીએ? ખાલી હું તો હસતા હસતા વાત કરતો હતો એનો, પણ એણે પકડી લીધું. આજે મને ફોન કરીને કહે છે કે મેં 4-5 એપ્લિકેશન અહીં કરી શકે છે શિકાગો ખાતે. જો અમારે બી એની જરૂર છે ભાઈઓનો, રાઈટ? ત્યાં હોય એના કરતાં અહીંયા આગળ આવે તો જો બેઠો છે. કાલે સવારે એનું 2 વાગે 3 વાગે તેને ઉઠીને જવાનું છે. હી હેઝ ટુ વેક અપ 3 o'clock or early maybe, whenever Varni wakes you up. પણ છતાં અહીંયા આવીને અને ઈશક છે અહીંયા આવી બેઠો છે એનો. એટલે આપણે તો 100 બહાના કરીએ કે ભાઈ કાલે તો જવાનું છે, આજે મારાથી ના આવાય, હું ફોન ઉપર સાંભળી લઈશ, અથવા તો હું પછી કાકાજી.org જઈને જોઈ લઈશ. બધું સારું છે, એવું નથી ભાઈ ખોટું છે એનો, પણ ઈશક એ જ ઈશક, રાઈટ? એવો ઈશક હોય તો અહીં અવાય એનાથી, નહીં તો શું કરવા આવે બી. એટલે દેટ ઇઝ ઓલ કાઉન્ટ્સ. Every of our intense action makes the difference, and that is part of ruchi. આપણી અંદરથી રુચિ એવી જો હશે તો ખરેખર આપણી સ્પીડ અને મોમેન્ટમ પકડાશે. We would be really moving faster and faster, and we are all potential, fast movers. Find your full person, find your both way, P-double-O-L, P-U-double-L, right? Full person, and you will move on faster, But with ruchi, Kakaji goes even one step further, Suruchi, એક રુચિ એક સુરુચિ, બહુ ફેર પડી જાય પાછો. સ્વામીજી વોન્ટ્સ ટુ ગો વિથ ધી બેઝિક બેઝ લાઇન, કે ભાઈ પહેલી રુચિ તો ચાલુ કરો, પછી સુરુચિની વાત કરજો. પહેલાં મેટ્રિક્યુલેટ થાવ, પછી કોલેજની વાત કરો. યુ જસ્ટ બીકમ ફર્સ્ટ ગ્રેજ્યુએટ ફ્રોમ મેટ્રિક્સ, રાઈટ? But if you think that I want to do PhD and I am PhD student, yeah, okay. But if you have failed in metric, it would be difficult to pass in PhD, right? So we want to go Hariprasad Swamiji's way also. But those who are already there, those who are already elevated there, for them ek suruchi is a goal, is our final mission, and suruchi is, Kakaji says, that, or Bapa also has said, in Sundarut, as part of Suhrad Bhav, કે સામેવાળાની ભૂલ એ મારી ભૂલ છે, પણ પ્રસંગ આવે ત્યારે એવું નથી થતું. તે વખતે આપણે હાલી જઈએ, ઓગળી જઈએ છીએ. સામેવાળાની ભૂલ છે એ મારી ભૂલ છે, અને એ પ્રસંગમાં હું હોઉં તો મારે બી એ જ એવા પ્રોબ્લેમ ઊભા થવાના છે. If I am in that scenario, I am not going to be any different than the other person. તો એની ભૂલને મારી ભૂલ ગણીશ તો મહારાજ મને બળ આપશે. God will give me the lot of power. So ruchi is some force. Suruchi is tremendous force. If we have a suruchi with one another, with each other, then that suruchi will take us very, very fast, very, very far away, to the level of our gunatit bhav. But it's not just in talks. We can talk a lot about that, but when it comes in practice, when it comes in our real taste in our life, then it makes a difference, And we want to pray for that, We want to pray, that, હે પ્રભુ, મને એવી સુરુચિ આપજો, મને એવું બળ આપજો, મારે ખરેખર તમને રાજી કરવા છે બસ, પ્રસંગો બન્યા છે એ તો નિમિત્ત છે પણ પ્રસંગોની અંદર હું આપને કેમ રાજી કરી શકું? હાઉ કેન આઈ પ્લીઝ હું તમને કેમ કરીને રાજી કરી શકું? મને એવી સમજણ આપજો, મને એવી બુદ્ધિ આપજો, એવું બળ આપજો. અને ખરેખરી જો એવી ભાવના કરીએ, એવી સુરુચિ કરીએ તો કાકાજી કહેતા મોટો ધડાકો થાય. It will be an explosion. And when rocket lifts up also, there is a big explosive, force, Then it takes off, To get out from the earth's gravity is not easy, Not anybody can get out, But they have found a way to get out of the gravity, પહેલાના ટાઈમમાં મહાભારતની અંદર there is a story in Mahabharata, that Bhimsen had such a tremendous power that he would take an elephant and zoom him and throw, and that elephant would be like a satellite going around, એવું કંઈક સાંભળેલું છે ને તમે? So I was thinking, when I was young, I was thinking, કેટલો બધો પાવર હશે, against the air, air friction, અડધો તો પેલો બળીને ખાખત થઈ જાય, But છતાં, they had imaginations, But today we have a practical thing, We have satellites going, all around, We have rockets going even beyond that, beyond gravity. And when I was reading just about 2-3 weeks ago, about this, what do they call? Voyager 2, yeah, Voyager 2. Voyager 2. That was the Voyager which left. There are two Voyagers, Voyager 2 and Voyager 3, And they are in the opposite direction, So Voyager 2 is about 10-15 years ahead of Voyager 3, I think, So that Voyager has left the solar effect, And it's going way beyond, The next star, which is about 4.5 light years from here, they say that this Voyager would take 36,000 years. How much? 36,000 years to reach there, At this speed, Speed of maybe, 50,000, 100,000 miles per hour, Not 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, 36,000 years. I don't know if we will be surviving on this earth.
To reach where?
To the first star, which is the 4.5 light years away from us. આપણો નજીકનો જે તારો છે એની આલ્ફા સેન્ચુરી કેવું કંઈક નામ છે એનું. Yeah.
મહાભારતની કથા એક ગાય છે
Right.
એની પેલી બોલે એમાં પરીક્ષિતનો દીકરો જેવા છે ને એ ડાઉટ કરે છે ને એટલે પછી તરત જ સૂકો થઈ ગયો
ગબડવા મળે.
નીચે પડે પ્રૂફ કરી કે એ ઉપર જ હતા જન્મે રાજા.
Yeah, there is a power of science we have now, and they had a spiritual power back then, So we don't have to doubt on that, It could be possible, But the point is that ruchi, ek ruchi, suruchi, એક સુરુચિ, એવી જો આપણે પ્રાર્થના કરીએ, એવી ભાવના કરીએ તો આપણી અંદર બી એવી અગન લાગે, એવી અંદરથી લગન લાગે, કે મારે કરી લેવું છે. કાકાજી બસ મને બળ આપજો, બળ આપજો, બળ આપજો. I want to not fail, I want to please you, I want to please you, So એવી આપણે ઇન્ટેન્સ પ્રેયર આ ધૂનની સાથે કરીએ, if we do it, then it is more powerful. I was reading one line, from Patra Sanjeevani today and few days ago also. What Kakaji is saying, smruti is very powerful thing, When we do bhajan and dhun, we keep smruti of, incidences, Sapan Bhai mentioned nice thing, going to the different temples or reading some scriptures or, saints or some incidents. These are all smruti, But કાકાજી છે સ્મૃતિ કરતાં પણ એક આગળનું એક ચેપ્ટર છે. સ્મૃતિ કરતાં પણ અમુક વસ્તુ એથી આગળ વધે. Anybody knows?
Yeah.
I'm referring to what Kakaji said, in Patra Sanjeevani. સ્મૃતિ કરતાં પણ એક બીજી વસ્તુ છે એના કરતાં બી આગળ વધે. ખોરી કાઢજો, અત્યારે હું નહીં કહું. You search in the Patra Sanjeevani and then give me. કહી દઉં પણ તમને થોડી તલબ લાગે ને. We want to have a contest. Whoever comes first, Parikshit will give the prize.
બાબા ભગવાનને ધારો સ્વામીની વાત છે.
હશે સ્વામી વાતમાં હશે, but I am referring to Patra Sanjeevani, what Kakaji has said. વાંચીને કહેજો, જોઈને અંદરથી. ચાલો, સરસ. સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની બીજા ટોપિક છે, બટ વી વિલ કન્ટિન્યુ નેક્સ્ટ ટાઈમ,